Hello everybody, welcome back to Claiborne. Welcome back to my channel. Don't ask me why I chose gigantic, hugely enormous pumpkins this year for the pumpkin patch. I don't know. Anyway, these pumpkins, this is what they look like. They're called Big Macs. Got them from Fairy Morse. And let me just read this to you. Days to germinate was supposed to be 7 to 10. However, these took a long time to germinate. But the man at the Walmart, the ticket guy, he said I should have used a fingernail file and filed off a section of the seed and that they would have germinated quicker. So, I don't know. Take that for what it is. So, they have to be planted at a spacing of 8 feet by 8 feet. 120 days to harvest, and it says these big pumpkins can reach 6 foot in diameter and weigh 100 pounds or more. Oh no, oh my word. They make excellent prize size pumpkins. I don't know about all that, but I mean, 100-pound pumpkin, I'm not even rolling that thing around to display it. I'm just gonna let it sit in the field and grow. So my whole idea is to conquer some more space that's wild between my road and my property. And I thought, how fun would it be to put in a pumpkin patch over there? So let's go over there and see what I'm working with. All right, so I picked up some tarps, and that's 6 by 8. I think it was 8 by 10 or 6 by 8 were my choices, and I don't know why I grabbed 6 by 8. Anyway, it's 10 mil thick, and there's a silver side, so I know that silver goes towards the elements when you're putting in foam insulation, so I don't know if it's going to matter. On this, I think the other side, it says it's black. I don't want the heat side up. I would rather the heat side go down towards the ground and the silver side up to reflect some of the sunlight that it's going to get out here. And then it shouldn't be too difficult since I have conquered this tiny space. It's not a tiny space by any means. I have conquered this tiny amount of this huge space previously. So it shouldn't be too big of a deal for me to weed whack this to the ground, put some tarp down and some landscape pins, put a hole in the middle, and plunk a pumpkin. Oh, what was I thinking? So far we have 3 that have germinated. I think there's twice that many planted. Let's hope the rest don't germinate. Then I'll have to deal with them. But okay, whatever. We're just going to put this pumpkin patch in and see how it goes. Alrighty, time to unfurl my sail here and get this tarp spread out. I think it would actually be easier to dig a hole first. And I hate to cut a hole in the center of a brand new tarp, but that's what I bought the tarps for, was this pumpkin patch. So that's what I'm gonna do. Oh my word, what was I thinking? All right, I weed whacked the grass down and I dug a happy pumpkin hole. So we're gonna ask for the spirit of happy pumpkins, happy jack-o'-lanterns, happy Halloween, happy Samhain, happy autumn. We're asking for a blessing on these pumpkins, these gigantic, enormous, supposedly future pumpkins. Boom, pumpkin hole, happy pumpkin hole. Okay, in addition to all this beautiful black soil that's so fluffy, we're gonna throw a little compost enriched soil in the hole. Mix that up. And then we're gonna go get Mr. Pumpkin. I'm sorry, Wormy. When it's all said and done, you can come back and have all the composted pumpkin you could possibly want. All right, let's go get our pumpkin. All right, let's look at our beautiful roots. This was grown in nothing but, I think it was Miracle Grow seed starter. It was very fluffy and light and it felt like it was difficult to get it moist enough. So I ended up mixing it with what I call the other soil or trash soil that I had, but this was just grown in pure Miracle-Gro seed starter. All right, so as with any of my other plants, I don't plant it any deeper than it was in the pot, except I do make an exception with tomatoes. Sometimes I do what's called trench planting or laying down that plant, but I've not grown this variety of pumpkin before, so I'm just gonna plant it upright, no deeper than it was in the pot. And always when you transplant your seedlings, you wanna press down so that there's no air pockets. I'm planting on a beautiful overcast day, so there won't be any sun shock. Otherwise, I'd have to do my planting first thing in the morning. We're gonna water him in good and then cover him up. Okay, by cover him up, I meant cover up the grass surrounding him. So now we're just going to pin the perimeter of the hole down, as well as the four corners, with some nice heavy-duty landscape pins. Okay, so Mr. Pumpkin now has a bed of his very own. It's actually 2 feet shy. It was supposed to be 8 by 8, it's 6 by 8. So I'm just gonna have to come up here and just kind of twirl it around and hope it doesn't head down to my neighbors like they did last year. They got so far down the road and it wasn't even Big Macs. So let's hope they stay in their own yard. We're gonna make them happy to be home pumpkins. All right, a pumpkin patch where there was none before. All that for 2 pumpkin plants. In case I forgot to mention it, the pins, the landscape pins, were by Greenscapes. They were 4.5-inch steel pins, and the tarps are Ace brand 10 mil tarps, heavy duty. All right, that looks a little unattractive. Let's see if we can find something to help this out. All right, the sun came out. So let's go ahead and get this one watered in. And then I've been raking up leaves down at the rental property for a hot minute and just putting them on a tarp. I love tarps. So that's gonna be convenient to just dump out right here and mulch this down. And that felt like a lot more leaves when I was dragging it up here earlier, but it went that far. Felt like a lot more leaves than that. That's okay. I never run out of leaves. There will be more. And then these 2x4s needed to be moved anyway because they were down at the rental property. They just happened to be 8 feet long, right? So I brought those over here to help hold that tarp down. Now, how are we going to let people know these are pumpkins? Let's see what we can find. All right, I think those will be pretty good markers for what's growing here. Obviously, they're pumpkins. I think we need some kind of security system because what if somebody decides to come up here and hoist a 100-pound pumpkin and run down the road with it under their arm? We have to have a security system. Let's see what we can find. All right, this is what it looks like when we walk up to it. Yeah, I'd say that scarecrow right there, that's absolutely terrifying. I don't think anybody or any critter, 2-legged or 4-legged, would walk past that scarecrow, right? No pumpkin thieves here. Okay, now all we do is wait. What did it say? How many days? Let's go back and see. I don't know, I don't see the package. I forget. Let's go find out how many days. Okay, days to harvest 120. So I guess that's 120 days from germination. So we got at least 2 weeks, just about 3 weeks, 21 days gone. So I'll do an update for sure and show y'all what the pumpkin patch looks like. I've got one more that's germinated. If the other 5 don't germinate, I'll be okay with that. But if they do, I'll plant them too. You guys are gonna have to start talking me out of stuff like this. This is crazy gardening. Alrighty. Much, much love and light. Many blessings.